6.21 Development of a structured program using control structures. Actually, like previous topic, this topic also I can better explain after completion of second, seventh, and eighth chapters, because you should know what are control structures. Then only you can better understand. Here, I try to explain this concept in a general way. You can definitely understand that. And if I explain this concept after completion of seventh and eighth chapters, you better understand in a really no abstraction at all. Now try to understand this concept generally. Now this is our main, and this is actually we implement our program. By default approach is sequential approach. All the instructions in the program are implemented sequentially. That is the approach. Here, what we do, if you perform every job in this manner, then it is not efficient at all. It is like finding the meaning of the word passion in a sequential order. That you never do that. So instead of making 50,000 futile efforts, just with 10 attempts, you are able to find out the meaning of the passion, which I explained already. Now you see, if you implement this thing in a sequential order, in all cases it is not efficient. Suppose this is like reading your marks and finding, calculating percentage of marks. What are the tasks of this program? Reading marks in 5 papers. Next, finding percentage of marks. Finding a grade. Print a report. Suppose the task of the program is that reading marks in the 5 papers of your exam, and finding percentage of marks, finding the grade, and printing the report. If you take that sequential approach, it is possible through sequential approach, but it is inefficient. So in order to make it efficient, we have to plug and play the appropriate control structures. What are the appropriate control structures? Here, reading marks. For reading marks, actually for each paper, one scan-off statement you have to write. Corresponding prompt statements you have to write. So then 5 plus 5, 10 statements sequentially you have to write. One prompt statement, reading first paper, one prompt reading second paper. Like that you make. Instead of that, you can define an iterative, that is loop control structure. While is there, for is there. By using, so instead of, by replacing these statements for reading, you plug one loop control structure and play. Then it is more, just instead of 10 statements, just a few statements are enough. Thereafter, that is there. Instead of, we replace certain sequential statements with a loop control structure, a more readable and a smaller and more efficient. Next, finding percentage of marks by using a formula, you do that. Thereafter, finding grade. There are 5 alternatives. One is distinction, first class, second class, third class, fail. Depending on the percentage of marks, one of these is selected. Depending on this, only one is selected, either distinction, first class, second class, third class, or fail. Then here, which approach is required? One selection control structure. Is suitable. You can use, later you understand that, else if statement. Else if is one of the control structures, or switch is also another control structure. These both are very efficient and use one of that. That means here finding grade by replacing a set of statements with the selection control structure. With this selection control structure. Here also again plug and play. Plug this selection control structures and play. Now by this selection control structure replaces set of statements. This loop control structure replaces that set of statements. Thereafter printing report. Printing report also your marks five paper marks should be printed. You can use a loop here also because same action is repeated. First paper mark, printing first paper mark, second paper mark, third paper mark, fourth paper mark, and fifth paper mark. Then you can do. Now this is the way. You can generally understand that every default approach is sequential approach. So wherever it is there, then we plug either a selection control structure or loop control structure and play it. By that, the code, the size of the program is reduced and your program will be more efficient and more readable also. This is the strategy. Just generally understand the strategy. After completion of 7th and 8th chapter, you better understand. And in respective context, again, I talk about this.